Good morning, everybody, and happy October 1st. I'm starting outside today for a reason, because 1 week ago today, on Thursday, I walked out of the Lazy Dog Bar and Restaurant with my beautiful bride, and we just had a nice late night snack. It's one of those days I've been going since 5 a.m. We were in a great mood, and we're walking back to the car. Let me see if I can flip this around, something I have not yet done on a live stream. If I go like that, yes. We're walking back to this very car. You can still hear me, I guess. So when we get to the car, what do we see but on the back of the car is a book. And I go, oh no, somebody was digging in my car, and I'm thinking, did I forget to lock it? And they probably dug around, found some stuff of value, and then they looked down and said, what we definitely don't need is this, whatever this crazy black book is, the prayer book and hymnal. So they just threw it on my car, I thought. But I thought, that's kind of weird. And so then we went to the side of the car and realized that it was still locked. And then how thoughts kind of, you have to readjust your brain quickly to catch up with reality because you're thinking the wrong thing, and suddenly, boom, there's the epiphany of the right thing. Sharon and I both realized we had driven all the way from Bermuda and Silverado Ranch all the way to the Lazy Dog, and I had probably left this book on the top of this car, and although I had driven, let's just say quickly, on the highway, probably maybe even a little faster than the 65-mile-an-hour speed limit, this book, and it wasn't sitting here exactly like this, these pages were all fluffed up and fanned, so we know that it had made a great big sale, but miraculously had stayed right on the trunk lid and not blown away. So, grabbed the book, got in the car, and I had the book, and I had that communion kit in the car for a reason, because I had recently spoken to a woman named Wendy, whose mother, Dione, was actively moving toward death. It might have been a minute, it might have been several days, we didn't know for sure. But the process of being actively dying had begun. We're driving home now in this same car. And I realized that my wife Sharon has one thing on her mind. How is it that this utterly impossible thing of the book being on the back of the trunk lid when the car had been going way too fast, even if when we'd gotten in the car, I had put her, myself, the communion kit, the directory with the address where Wendy and Dione live, and the prayer book, but in doing so, I had thrown the prayer book on top of the car. It was, according to Sharon, utterly impossible by the law of physics that the book had not flown off the car completely, that it would have just sat there on the back of the car. It was impossible, especially given turns. It would have flown off the side. Maybe we would have heard it, maybe not, probably not. But we're driving home, and I can see Sharon is thinking, she goes, how is that? She goes, I do not know how that book was staying there. This is impossible. And here's what popped out of my mouth. You know what? It is impossible, but Wendy's mom held it on the car. And it's like I hadn't even had the thought. It's like suddenly the explanation that clearly Sharon was obsessing on just came to me and through me. And that's the point of this morning's message, because in the last 24 hours, Dione Massa has passed. And I want to tell everybody what a blessing not only Dione is and was, but mainly is, but what a blessing those final days, hours, minutes, or even months of a life can be. How utterly miraculous they can be, and how communicative these people who are dying can be with us. But you've got to give yourself permission to live that fifth dimension. You have to give yourself permission to believe in a sixth sense. You need to give your faith the freedom to teach and inform you. Now, you don't have to give away your thoughts, your intellect. It's okay to doubt things. It's okay for us to go, somebody must have been in the car. It's okay to get things wrong and to work things through deductively. But as we're doing so, let's do like Einstein says, and keep ourselves aware of the fact that all knowledge very likely is going to lead us to the edge of the sea of mystery and miracle. Thank you, Albert. Talk about summing it all up in one poetic sentence. Yes, he did. And this is what we can do, but I especially want to lift up that possibility of being open to the grandeur of God and the potential for this realm to have heavenly effect in it, heavenly miracle and action at the time of death. Dione, who I barely knew, was a great blessing to me, even the very timing. I was told months ago, and this was Father Rick O'Brien, he knew the family better, and appropriately, he was doing most of the pastoral care with them. But before he left for vacation, he reminded me that this household, that this family might be contacting me and needing pastoral care. I believe that Dione even timed all that with her God to be optimal for everybody. For herself, but she's fine, she knows that, and God's assuring her of that. But her family, and even right down to a person she barely knows, Father Chris, and his wife Sharon, she just kept bringing the miracle to all of us. Now you think, oh, you know, you just got lucky. For whatever reason, the car aerodynamics, even though it sort of looks like a fastback there, the wind jumps over there, and the book got a little fluffed up, and, you know, no big deal, right? I don't actually think that. And please hear me. I'm inviting you with love not to live in such a puny, godless universe. If you're open to miracles, they're gonna happen. Now, you can get a little too heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. I'm not suggesting that. Pay your bills, brush your teeth, call your loved ones on Sunday evening, whatever you do. Rake your leaves, take out your garbage, pay your taxes, do all that kind of stuff. It's all wonderful. But don't block the magic and miracle of God. Maybe I was doing just that last night, when Dione hadn't been dead very long. This is something I've noticed having worked a lot of death and dying situations in my life. Dozens of them, and maybe we're in the hundreds. The departing and departed ones often send us animals. And last night, as I was walking to my condo, again with Sharon, she looked and she goes, "Is that a live bird up there?" And sitting right up on the second floor, I'm on the first floor, I live, but on the second floor, right on the deck, looking right down at us, is this unusual, it looked like halfway between a pigeon and a blackbird, but it didn't look like any bird I'd ever seen before. And it's just sitting there looking at us. And this time, I was quicker. And I didn't say, "Oh, I bet that's Wendy's mom," because I remembered Wendy's mom was Dione. I said, "Dione, is that you?" And the bird just looked at me. And I believe said yes. My wife, who thinks about these things longer than I do, we're inside, she goes, "I wonder if that bird's okay. And should we try to feed it or give it water?" And she goes, "And I think I saw it there earlier today, sitting exactly, maybe it's not well." I said, "You know what? I don't know enough about birds. I don't think you do either. Let's just actually pray for that bird right now." And Sharon and I took each other's hands. Most importantly, we thank God for all the miracles of life. We thanked God for the beauty of Dione's dying, for the great gift of hearing and seeing what Wendy had done for her mother when she died, washed her body, covered her in these beautiful tea palm leaves, put a lei of flowers around her neck, bathed her and combed her hair. It was the most beautiful act of departing love. Also acknowledging eternal love. Thank you, Wendy, for that gift. Thank you, Dione, for all these gifts. And thank you, Dione, for keeping my book on the car. Thank you for sending that bird last night that we prayed for and who just flew off to not be seen again, probably. That was a one-time occurrence. And thank you, Dione, that even today at 8:45 a.m., where I come to the church where I've been 1,000,000 times, for the very, very first time ever, right there at the end of this very parking lot, not 70, 80 feet away from me, was a coyote looking right at me. The departed ones send the animals. They're giving us a message. They're saying life is eternal. God is great. Enjoy this life. Live it fully. Live it faithfully. Because when you do, it never ends. That's what I got today. Thank you again, Wendy, for all the miracles. I ask God's blessing on your family especially, and everyone. And I give God gratitude for the life and the witness and the beauty and the joy and the love that Dione Massa brought us and gives us still. Amen.